I'm living in the provision, and I know it, and I feel it. And I know there's people that may not look at it like this, but I hope you understand that you may be living in the provision too and don't even realize it. Hey, it's your girl Ava Cherie, and I was just riding, and I wanted to share an insight with you guys. When you know God, when you trust God to weather every storm with you, to never leave you nor forsake you, you can stop trying to make people understand how you getting through something. What if you was just already living in the provision? We think situational way too much. This situation happened, this circumstance happened, this is a consequence of this, that, and the third. Even still, despite all of that, you're living in the provision because God went before you. God knows what's going to happen to you, through you, and for you. What if we was already living in a provision, which is why we don't have an answer, or people don't understand how we're getting through all these things? With a smile on our face, praying for people with joy, not bitterness, not praying for somebody's downfall. I was thinking about how last year, filed for my divorce and was waiting on the final decree. Somebody helped me along by giving me some money to apply for a position at a temp agency as a teacher. And interestingly enough, some situations with the agency prolonged that. And so I was scrambling because in the moment, everything that I can do alternatively was in place in the event it got bad, which it was already bad. And I'm not saying it was already bad just because of finances. It was already bad to the point where I had to walk out on faith and leave everything and not ask for a penny. So I used to always say my mother taught me, in no disrespect, how to make payment arrangements. So I opted out of teaching my 4 kids how to make payment arrangements. I said payment arrangement is a last resort. Don't make an arrangement to pay a debt that you're not going to be able to fulfill to cover, because see, that's your credit, that's your credibility to commitment. So you want to use that as a last resort. You want to learn how to manage your finances, that you put something on everything, and then in the event you need to make an arrangement after you've put money on everything, then it's a different type of arrangement. It's obtainable and it's attainable. You understand? If you didn't have the 500 that defaulted you and now it's triple because you're 3 months behind, why are you going to make an arrangement to commit to that unless you have a lump sum of money coming? So that's what I used to tell my kids. Don't commit to something that's not attainable and you don't have action steps to accomplish. So you not one, just be able to pay it off, but not get yourself in this hole again. So some people teach us how to make arrangements based off their life's challenges and what they face and what they did. Some people teach you how to become a fisherman. You understand what I'm saying? One time I had to go and get electric assistance, right? And as I sat there, I wasn't embarrassed. I was actually honored to be in a serving atmosphere. But I seen the need that they needed more workers or a way to expedite the services being provided, right? So I said, are you guys hiring? I didn't go in and try to dictate. I didn't go in and try to control the atmosphere. I just said, are you hiring part-time, and do you need help? Do you need volunteers? Because it's a nonprofit. And they were like, no, and this, that, and the third. And then it was like, give me your resume. So the director ended up getting my resume, and I ended up seeing her again when I had to stand in the food line to see what they were giving out. This was just, I don't know, last year, this year. And so when she got my resume, she was like, oh, I'm the director and I don't even make as much as it looks like you probably already made. And that's a lot of times people tell you to just get a job or this and the third. There is a thing of people appearing to be overqualified. I used to hear that word, that I was overqualified, way back in the day, like 15, 20 years. And I used to tell people, don't assume my place in life and my past experience overqualifies me. Maybe my current situation puts me in that position because this is a need on both ends. Don't prejudge my experience and think that I'm going to ask for too much or overqualified or don't need a job. There is a working poor population. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any qualms about going and standing in no line until things are straightened out in my situations, you know, and that's what it was. I had left with nothing and I had to rebuild everything, and my money as an entrepreneur could not go to stuff that I can get for free, pulling up in the type of car that I drive, because it was a lot more fancy, a car, Maseratis and everything. This line was for the working poor. Nobody was judging. Nobody was like, oh, you got this kind of car, that kind of car, you can't. Now, I've been in those situations where they do judge, but I wasn't tripping off that. I just knew every dime based off my decision to leave a very tumultuous marriage. Every dime had to go towards where it needed to be. And I didn't have no time for ego or pride. That ain't never been my issue, especially with 4 kids, child. Because I have a 501c3, so I'm always in the food bank line, and I never bring it home. So as a consequence of me just not being selfish and with my resources, when I do need, I feel in my spirit that I'm going to get a yes. Just based off my deeds alone. I've never taken from anybody I've serviced with the food or my clothes closet. And it's just been situated where I didn't need. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say, maybe, just maybe, you're already living in the provision. I know I am. I'm living in the provision for this storm. I'm living in the provision for this time. I'm living in the provision for this elevation of restoration, transition. I'm living in the provision, and I know it, and I feel it. And I know there's people that may not look at it like this, but I hope you watched it through to understand that you may be living in the provision too and don't even realize it. All right? God's love and God's peace to you all. You know, I don't sit in the car too long, child. Not nowadays, child, because people, woo, they weird. But God's love to you, God's peace to you, God's healing to you, and God's best to you. This is your girl, Avis Sheree.